Scalers. I'm back again. This weekend I made a major decision. Right now my layout is DC. And I made this major decision this week that I'm going to actually go DCC. I got the nice system startup set, and I'm only going to do a portion of the layout at a time to get used to DCC and everything else on top of it. I got such a rather large fleet of locomotives, I can't afford to do them all at one time. But I am going to start with just the worm itself. For those of you who do not know my layout or have not seen my layout, it consists of really three sections. Originally it started out as a 2-foot by 4-foot layout that, as you can see now, my dinner train's traversing. And then when we moved into the larger house and I was able to procure the room, I actually expanded it with 2 sections, which is there and right there. And there's also going to be a third running down that wall. Hello everybody. Here I am, my fat gut and everything. But there's going to be a staging yard that's going to go along that wall, a small beam pole, which is going to come in when we redo the flooring on the house. So kind of the flooring of the house was the catalyst for me going DCC, because when I go to put the staging yard in, I started contemplating all the blocks I'm going to need to wire this beast up, and I just sat there and said it's going to take me too long to block everything, and just the wires underneath that layout's just going to look like a crow's nest. So I figured if I go DCC, all I got to contend with, only thing I should contend with is the bus wires, and bus wires are no biggie. Other than that, I got a cold. Other than that, it should turn out pretty damn good. I'm just going to do the branch line, and really, theoretically, a lot of people don't know this, but my layout's really 3 ovals. The one that you see the CSX manifest train on is the only main line that actually connects up to the worm so that it can go eventually to the staging yard, which will come off the backside here, run down this wall and end over there. So there's going to be a staging yard there, as well as this is going to go to a coach yard for the worm. This little section right here operationally doesn't exist. All that is really operationally, all that is a lead track for the runaround on the station. But in circular tail chasing mode, it acts so that I can run the worm as a loop. This loop here where the manifest train is running on is basically the manifest train and interchange train with CSX and the worm, which this right here is the interchange yard for the worm and CSX. So both of them are going to be, making their exchange there. This inner track right here, right now, is just by itself. It connects to nothing. It just has a holding track that will hold one train running and one train will be held. As you can see, I got the intermodal on there, and I also have my Amtrak train on there, which the Amtrak will eventually go to this yard as this track here, and the only thing that'll be held on the inside line is just what I call basically eye candy. The trains just run to make multiple loops, just to give you an idea that there is an outside world to the layout. But ultimately it's just a circle of track with a passing holding siding to it. As for the CSX and the worm, they're connected by a crossover switch, and that way I can get the CSX trains changed out, the interchange trains changed out for other trains and what have you for the outer line. But primarily my modeling focus is just on the W.O.R.M's operation, which is basically a museum with dinner trains and scenic trains that will traverse it, along with some light freight. Most of the freight's going to be going to Flat Cat transfer yard, where pretty much they offload and unload anything else. And then the main line does run back, comes back through there along the backdrop. And theoretically, as you're watching the dinner train right now going around the backside there, it's going to come to a switch. Operationally, it'll go straight rather than making a left, and it'll go straight into the staging yard, where it will go into another town, which is wherever. Right now it's in whatever. It just keeps going through whatever several times, because now it's a loop. But it will go to wherever, which is the other town, which will be represented by a staging yard. I'm not going to model it. I was going to, but I said, you know what? I'm just going to leave it as a staging. That way I could focus more attention on whatever as my town. As you can see, I got the party side of a town, basically all the clubs, nightlife, and everything else over here. And as the road, there's going to be some crossings and stuff like that. I got a light and everything else, but the road's going to basically come out around behind the yard. We're going to have a CD bar right there. Disreputable place, damn near, right there on the lake. And then you're going to cross over the tracks. You're going to think you're going to come into a nicer Florida neighborhood, you know, nice houses along a pretty lake and everything else. But then as the road goes along, you're going to end up into Trailer Town, and complete with lots of rundown trailers, your occasional meth lab, complete with hole burnt in the roof. I'm not done with that one yet. I still got to put the carport on it, and washing machines and dryers and everything else on the patios and stuff. It's going to be fun. Another trailer that's going to get the hell beat out of it too. I live in said neighborhood, so I got a lot of inspiration. This is really going to be an overpass. Typical Florida overpass going over the tracks, and then dirt embankment, and the highway goes on and, you know, passes the world by. In the meantime, Old Dixie Highway is going to be just going through Shitville. Rural ghetto, I should say. But other than that, we are going to go DCC, but it just, for now, it's just going to be the W.O.R.M section. I'm going to isolate. That crossover already automatically isolates itself, so ain't got to worry about that right now. And as for anything else, I'm going to isolate here for now, so that just the DCC is going to be just on the W.O.R.M itself. Because I got so many locomotives to do that not all of them are going to be done at the same time. And not all the locomotives are going to be used as transfer into the DCC area. So, some of my locomotives, just financial wise, are going to stay DC, and this intersection here is going to stay DC. No sense in making it DCC right now, or anytime in the near future, because it's by itself. But like I said, the route that my manifest train is on, that is the only line of this mess that connects up with the W.O.R.M in any given way. And right now it's still isolated on its own, so it's controlled by one DC pack. And that's pretty much the W.O.R.M's pack right there, and the one sitting on the ladder down there is pretty much the inside one. And I think the inside one's going to remain the same. So other than that, I'm going to save myself a bunch of wiring headache underneath the layout when it comes to the blocks. And the only thing I got to really wire up and keep wired up are going to be the switches. And when it comes to the switches, I think I'm just going to wire up and add to the control panel primarily the passing sidings on the main line, the crossover in the back there that the trains are going over, and more than likely the ones that are going to be back here that making a reach for is going to be a pain in the ass. So I'll more than likely make a control panel to control those. But everything else on the outside I'm thinking of leaving manual, or maybe just wiring up for, you know, control. But for the most part, I think operators will be, I think it would be better if they were hand thrown. Add to the realism of it. Have to stop, get out of the train, get off the train, and throw the switches and stuff manually. Especially in the yard, I think it'd be a little bit more interesting than having control panels everywhere sticking out from the layout that you're gonna get hung up on. And keep the layout a lot cleaner. Like that thing has got to go. Yeah, I could see a smaller control panel just to control, you know, when I electrify this, I think to control this, because really that's part of the museum. It's going to be used to turn, you know, some of my A units and the couple of steam engines I do have, turn them, and that's about it. Other than that, it's just part of the museum. People go walk around and look at stuff. So, and that was the other thing too that DCC was called for, was when I started filling that up with locomotives, moving them around with DC, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. So I figured DCC would be easier to shuffle locomotives around. So either way, that's my ultimate goal here and what I'm doing. And give you an idea of what I'm going to do. I'm going to be asking questions here and there with you DC gurus and stuff like that. Basic questions here and there. So keep your ears open when you hear me screaming why something ain't working. I think I'll figure it out. I mean, shit, can't be that hard. Compared to doing blocks. Alright, well, that's what my goal is right now. My 2019 goal is to DCC the layout ever so slowly. Also, I ordered a bunch of, started to slowly order my scenic stuff. So I'm going to start adding scenery as well when I get the wiring done. But I'm going to start ordering it now and have it ready. So when I do get ready to do, finish this scenery, I'm going to do it. But that's about it. That's our goal for the 2019 here. The DCC and start doing scenery. And get the staging yard in. I'm going to lose my desk, but I'm going to get a rolling desk for underneath the layout that I can pull out and work on. And pull around the house too, so when I want to work in another room I can. Yes, I do have train music going in the background. Everything is train songs and my hobo shit. So, I got all kinds of songs on here. So, yeah. So when we're in train mode, we're listening to trains, and so I got all kinds of stuff. But either way, guys, thank you for keeping up with me. Like I said, I'm going to be asking a lot of DCC questions. I am going to NCE way. I just got the starter kit, and I'm going to expand from there as I need to and go from there. So I'll be asking a lot of questions of you guys. Well, you guys have yourself a decent Sunday. I'll talk to you later. You guys have a good one. Bye.